Welcome to the mantra breathing today, and we're broadcasting from Venice, and we're so happy to have all of you with us. And Sandra wants to start sharing about her experience of being here and also some other things about Babaji. And I'm going to read some odes from the Divine Mother. So I think this will give us a good inspiration to get going to prepare our breathe.
Yeah, so my experience here in Venice has been kind of outrageous. It's really stretched my imagination. First of all, I can't even believe they built this on the marsh, and it's so incredible. The art here is mind-blowing, and I'm not an artist like Marcus, but I have experienced my mind being kind of blown today, and what I've seen has been very expansive. So I was thinking about my Guru Babaji and what was the most expansive experience I had with him. So I'm going to share this. I don't usually talk about this because it's so outrageous, but that's the mood I'm in here in Venice. Everything is outrageous here and fantastic. So anyway, after I met Babaji, I shaved my head and I landed in Los Angeles with my head shaved. And my friends said, "Oh, we want to take you to this movie called Altered States." I said, "Wait a minute, I'm already in an altered state." They said, "No, you got to see this movie." So I was in this movie and it was way out there. In the middle of the movie, I left my body and I heard Babaji say, "You must do the God training. It's not, can you do it or will you do it? This must be done." And I said, "Well, okay." Well, anyway, I came in my body. I thought, "Oh my God, I don't even know what the God training is." And I agreed to do it. And I couldn't get clear on it. So I said to my staff, I have to go to Bali, the island of the gods, and see if I can get clear on the God training. And I got there and it blew my mind. And I'm telling you, within 20 minutes, I channeled the whole God training in Bali. And then I was told to go to Mount Shasta, California, and do it there. I'd never been to Mount Shasta. I didn't even know it was the home of Saint Germain, who is the immortal master of America. Well, I mean, a lot of people came and spent 2 weeks with me there. So at the end of this training, the first God training, this guy came up to me who was in the training. He said, "Oh, a chiropractor from Atlanta, he was. He said, I'm going to go down to the post office and get my psilocybin." I said, "What? You're getting magic mushrooms in the mail?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "I can't believe it." So I said, "I'm going to go with you." And I said, "Wait a minute. It's Saturday. The post office isn't open." He said, "Yeah, but the package department will be open." So I went with him kind of for fun, and we got to this little tiny post office in this little tiny town. It was as big as your living room, nothing bigger. Okay, so we get in line at the package department, and sure enough, it was open. So suddenly, and standing in front of me was this guy who looked like a clown, and he looked like the Simpsons, if you've ever seen the Simpsons on television. He had orange hair standing up, and he was dressed in a crazy way. He had a plaid shirt and striped pants, which I would never put together, and suspenders. And then I looked at his pants, and the stripes from the bottom and the top did not line up. In other words, the stripes didn't connect. And I'm freaking out. I said, "What fabric maker would ever make such a fabric?" And I'm totally freaked out by this guy. So he's in front of me. So he gets up to the post office and the clerk hands him this package. And she said, "This is not readable." She's returning it to him. And I looked at the package and the letters were literally shaking. Now, I was not on the mushrooms. I said, "Oh my God, what's going on?" And I started confronting this guy. I said, "Who do you think could read this?" He said, "Don't worry, it's Egyptian." That was his first statement to me. And I thought, this guy is crazy. So then he turns around and he shows me his palm, and there's no lines on it at all. No lines at all. And I'm freaked out. And then he says to me, "Oh, I know Dennis Adams, This was my boyfriend at the time. I said, "You know Dennis Adams?" He He said, yeah. And he said, I know Yogananda too. Now that should have been my clue that this was Babaji appearing to me in disguise, because who else knows Yogananda personally? But I'm freaked out. I couldn't handle it. That was the clue he was giving me, that this was Babaji materializing to me in the flesh in disguise. Now, if he had looked the same as he looked in India, I would have fainted, because I would have been experiencing bilocation, which I was experiencing, but I would have never handled it if he had looked the same as he looked in India. So he appeared to me in disguise. Well, I didn't get it was Babaji, okay? So anyway, I am completely freaked out. So suddenly he's got me over in the corner and he says to me, Gaines, 4 times. And I said, what is this, the thought of the day? He said, no, it's my name. Now, Babaji used to say things to me 4 times if he really wanted me to get it and never forget what he was saying. But I still couldn't connect. I couldn't connect. And then he said, I'm making a movie, I said, you are making a movie? What's it about? He said, I can't tell you yet. And that, from then on, I lost my mind and I don't remember anything. I got in the car and we were driving off and I said, stop the car. That was Babaji appearing to me in disguise. And we ran back in and he was, of course, gone. Well, anyway, he arrived without a car back at the resort where I had the class, and he was already there when I got there 20 minutes. He arrived teleporting. So I'm coming down the walkway going, and there is a swinging bridge, and there is Gaines, who is Babaji, when I kept forgetting, talking to my boyfriend, Dennis Adams, and they're having a debate on this bridge, and they're debating about the UFOs. And then suddenly, as I approached, Babaji or Gaines said, here comes the Virgo. Okay, then I would lose my mind again. I couldn't remember anything. And I was completely going crazy. So anyway, I couldn't handle it. Well, then suddenly what happened was Babaji suddenly materialized a family, had a wife and 2 children. And they all looked like the Simpsons, with orange hair and crazy clothes and everything. And not very many of us saw that. There was only 3 of us that in the crowd that saw that, and they were the only ones that knew Babaji saw that. Well, anyway, I am freaked out that time. I nearly fainted. Suddenly, they're up on this terrace. First, they were down on the ground, and suddenly they're up on this terrace having breakfast with his family. And I said to my boyfriend, Dennis, we have to get out of here. I can't handle it. We were going to go to Eugene, Oregon to do a healing seminar. And I said, Dennis, we got to get out of here. I can't deal with this. Then Babaji, or Gaines, says, I'll see you guys in Eugene, which is where we were going. Okay, well, I never told anybody about this, and I don't even talk about it very often because most people wouldn't believe it. So I never talked about it because I thought nobody would believe it. However, about a year later, I was in Australia. I was teaching a seminar, and there was about 80 people in the room. And we were getting ready to do some chanting, and suddenly this bag lady comes in. She looked like she'd been going through the garbage. She was dressed like a homeless person, only worse. She walks up to me, and nobody saw her except me. And she puts this doll in my lap. And this doll was an exact replica of Gaines with orange hair, but the stripes were lined up on the pants. And so I'm completely freaked out again.
She showed me this doll when we first got together, and in the story, and you could corroborate the story by having the doll. And I said, well, we need to take the doll on the road, so when you tell the story, you can show people the doll, and they can connect it. They can connect the dots.
Yeah.
So we did that for about a year, and then we were actually in Italy. We were in Rome in this hotel near the Colosseum. And the doll was on the bed, and I think when the maids came in and redid the bed, it got kind of lost in the covers, and we couldn't find the doll. So we lost the doll. We were kind of devastated because that was what that was our little teaching aid. We were saying, yeah, and there's this story, and then here's the doll just looking like Gaines. So we were kind of devastated. We lost the doll, but then we were going to Valencia, and Maria Jose will remember this because we were with Maria Jose at dinner that night. It was like the day right after we'd lost the doll, and this crazy guy comes in the restaurant, and he's got all these stuffed animals like stuck to his body, right? Hanging on him, and he's trying to sell these stuffed animals, and he has this pink rabbit, and he takes the pink rabbit off and he puts it on the table, and it's like it's a mechanical rabbit. He pushes the button, and the rabbit starts to dance, and the ears are going like this, and the rabbit is singing, "Bring peace and joy to every girl and boy." So that became our new Gaines. It's like the Gaines got replaced by the pink rabbit, and we traveled around with that for a while.
It's a pretty big rabbit, so we don't travel. But anyway, this is my most outrageous story of Babaji actually materializing to me in another form. And, I don't often talk about it, but I'm just feeling in an outrageous mood tonight. And what I want you to get is that's how powerful Babaji is. And be alert. He could appear to you in another form. You never know. He might come through any person that you know and shock you.
Yeah, he can take over another person, and they're maybe only half aware that he's doing that. Yeah. And they might have a message for you, so he can speak through other people to you too. Mm-hmm. And, just kind of come through them. Yeah. And so be aware of that possibility too.
But, it hasn't happened for a long time. So I thought, wow, I hope Babaji will materialize to me again soon. Who knows? But I just wanted to tell you tonight, that's my most outrageous story on Babaji, who actually, he was actually bilocating, because he was in India, in Harakan at the time that he appeared to me in Mount Shasta. So that's called bilocation, where the master can appear to you in the different bodies at the same time. So I just wanted to share my most outrageous story. So open up. Maybe Babaji could have come to you in your rebirthing. You never know.
Okay. All right. Babaji can simultaneously appear to many people at once. I wanted to talk tonight about this book I wrote, Odes to the Divine Mother. Some of you have it. Some of you have been rather moved by it. And we're coming up on the Bali quest in December. And it's very dear to my heart because that's where I started writing this Odes to the Divine Mother. And I was inspired by these Balinese dancers. That's what got the whole thing going. Sandra and I went to Bali to kind of scope it out to see how we could bring people there. So the first year we went together, we were just kind of getting our bearings, and we were staying in this very nice hotel, and they brought in these Balinese dancers for the guests one evening. And they're called the Lagong dancers. And what I noticed was they're all like children. I think they were like under 12 years old, these dancers, and they were so masterful of the dance. It just blew your mind how basically kids could be so advanced in this art form, but they start learning the dance when they're 4 years old. So by the time they're 10 or 11, they're masters of it. And then by the time they're 14 or 15, they've graduated and they don't do the Lagong dance anymore because it's for young people, right? So I was so inspired. I started writing these poems about it. I wrote these 10 poems. And then when we left Bali, I just kept writing to the Divine Mother, because these dancers were a manifestation of the Divine Mother. And I think that's one thing you realize in Bali. They have such reverence for the Divine Mother. It's like all of their worship is dedicated to the Divine Mother. And it's one of the reasons we go, to kind of charge up our our batteries with the Divine Mother energy. So anyhow, I started writing these odes, and then I realized, well, the Divine Mother's everywhere, and the Divine Mother can appear to me in anything. So I could write an ode sitting at the kitchen table. I could write an ode when I'm outside walking in nature. I could write an ode when we're in a shopping center and Sandra's shopping and I'm sitting there waiting for her. I could write an ode in Starbucks. It didn't matter because the Divine Mother's everywhere. I could start seeing the Divine Mother in everything. So that's kind of how I started writing these odes. And then after I'd done it for a couple of years, one of my friends said, well, you need to publish those things. And I had been also painting the Divine Mother in a lot of our trainings. So this book is a combination of these 3 years of writing these odes and maybe 3 or 4 years of painting the Divine Mother. So some of the paintings are in here. So I thought I would just read a couple of these odes. And the way I do it and the way anybody reading the book, and I like the fact you can open the book anywhere. It can be like an oracle, right? So you can just like kind of calm your mind and open the book because they're 1-page odes. Every ode is only 1 page long. So you get a complete thought by just reading 1 page. And you can open it anywhere and read 1 ode. And that's a complete experience. So I thought I would open. This one is called Divine Mother of My True Will. Divine Mother of My True Will. Let me be free of meager expectations. Divine Mother of my true will. Let me not limit myself with thoughts of lack, nor fears of scarcity. Strengthen my resolve to stay on course and not to waver with tinges of doubt and temptations of despair. Bring joy to my heart always, and not allow disappointment to ever enter. What will be, will be. I let all things be exactly as they are. Take my mind to the grace of what is working already in harmony with your will. Let my focus be on that instead of the stops and starts of things that do not take shape, do not follow through, do not flower in the garden of your love. Let me continue to tend your fertile beds, cultivate the seeds you have planted in my heart. Keep my faith strong and unwavering, certain of your complete care. I am happy to be your messenger in a world bereft of your compassion. I give you what I look upon and what I speak to represent your action on earth and in my world. Bring to me the inspirations needed to lift myself and others into the true identity we share, and to declare your sovereignty of absolute love across the whole universe of time and space, to all the 4 corners of the cosmos, to the central heart of all things, all beings, all galaxies. Let me be free of meager expectations. Instead, let me expect a miracle that frees my mind from death. Bring heaven to my awareness on this earth. Be in my mind through all of my days, not just in the quiet moments of isolated contemplation. Let me expect to be fully awake in this life, aware of you everywhere. This is Divine Mother of my true will. So, the Course says God's will for me is perfect happiness. So God's will, the Divine Mother's will for you is to have perfect happiness, peace, and joy all of the time. And anytime you have something not that they are there to help you transmute it, to help you forgive it, to help you work through it, to help you have the solution to whatever the problem is, and not spend too much time getting through it, right? So God's will for us is perfect happiness, which means God's will for us is to have the solutions to our problems so that we can solve them and move back into the happiness. So I'm going to open again to another one. We'll read one more before we start to breathe. This one is called Mother of All New Beginnings. Mother of all new beginnings. Mother of all new beginnings. Would I step into the space where vision is pristine and pure, lighting my way to be the total extension of your unconditional love on this earth? Let me emerge as a different self I formerly did not know. One who has a function sure. One who moves through life with the certainty of joy. Wouldn't that be great? Let's all pray for the certainty of joy. Let's all have the certainty of joy. Make all of my movements graceful with the essential nature of life behind them. So none are wasted nor made superfluous by my lack of attention. Keep my mind and body free of conflict, that they may serve your cause with total dedication. Mother of all new starts, make this day for me an action of trust in the unknown forces that evade my thought beyond time and space. I'm going to read that line again. Mother of all new starts, make this day for me an action of trust in the unknown forces that evade my thought beyond time and space. Keep me ever present in the anticipation of your directions, without assumption that I know the way. The light of your clarity shines in my steps when I am looking with open eyes toward you. Always would you give me what I need in proportions appropriate to the situation. Gratitude fills my mind with happiness as I acknowledge your total care and providence. I am the son you love, the one to whom everything is given, because I would keep nothing for myself alone. Share with me, O Mother, what you would have me say and do in this day of deliverance from the old ways of doubt. Give me certainty in this dawn of new beginnings. So I had a good time writing these. They always put me in a different state of mind, and I think they could do the same to you if you give them attention. That's the whole purpose of poetry in general, is to take us out of the dimension of kind of our everyday, routines, and put us in a state of attention, a state of awareness, where we're seeing more deeply into the nature of things, right? We're seeing more deeply into ourself. We're seeing more deeply into the things around us. We're aware of the holiness that surrounds us and the holiness in other people. And it's just a much more sensitive way of living. And poetry can help us, discover that sensitivity in ourselves. So that was the intention of writing these odes to the Divine Mother. So I hope you look into them someday. You can get the book on Amazon. And all right then. Okay, so we're going to get started with the breathe. I was telling some people beforehand that because we're doing this broadcast on our iPhone, I'm not so adept at being able to pull up the iTunes and that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to recite a mantra while you're breathing, so there won't be any music going on. I'll just be saying the mantra. And this mantra, it's a very powerful Divine Mother mantra, and it's recited in this ancient book that they read in India, dedicated to the Divine Mother. The book is called the Sri Maddevi Bhagwan. Sri Maddevi Bhagwan. And when we go to India and we participate in the Navratri, which is the Divine Mother Festival, they read out of this book every day. In fact, they read it from cover to cover for the whole 9 days. So they start in the beginning, and then by the time they're done with the 9 days, they will have read the entire book. And the book is like this thick, right? It's a huge book. So this mantra, it's very ancient, and it's the ability of the Divine Mother to vanquish opposition, vanquish our inner demons, vanquish our doubts, vanquish basically our negative thoughts, right? So this form of the Divine Mother, Chamunde, there's a story in this big book about Chamunde, and there were these kind of evil characters, and they were trying to take over the world, and they sent their armies to try to conquer Chamunde, the Divine Mother. And she was so powerful, and this one kind of evil king wanted to make Chamunde his wife, right? Which she didn't want to agree with. So he sent these armies to go get her. And when the armies came, she would vanquish every army with her power. So she became kind of known as the one who can conquer our demons, conquer our evil in the world, Chamunde. So this mantra is dedicated to her, and it starts out Om Aim Hreem Kleem. Aim Hreem Kleem are seed mantras, and their meaning could roughly be Saraswati, Lakshmi, and Kali. Om Aim Hreem Kleem, those are like 3 manifestations of the Divine Mother, 3 of the most important ones. Saraswati, the goddess of the arts, Lakshmi, the goddess of prosperity, and Kali, the goddess who destroys our ignorance, right? So Om, Aim Hreem Kleem, and then Chamunde, who's this goddess in the book. And in the last mantra part is Vichi. And Vichi means a shield. A shield is like a protection. She can shield you from negative forces. So that's the last part of the mantra, Vichi, shield. So the whole mantra is Om, Aim Hreem Kleem, Chamunde, Vichi. Om, Aim Hreem Kleem, Chamunde, Vichi. So while you're breathing, I'm going to say 10 rounds of this mantra, which should take about an hour, right? Might take a little bit more or a little bit less, but basically 10 rounds should take about an hour So you can breathe while I'm reciting these 10 rounds of the mantra. So I'm going to start. I've got my mala here, and I'm going to start now so you can start breathing. Om Aim Hrim Klim Chamandai Vichi. 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 Take a breath. Keep breathing. Keep your breathing regular. Inhale love. Exhale fear. Inhale your intention for this breathe. Exhale any doubt that you can receive it. Inhale your intention. Let go of doubt. Inhale your intention. Give gratitude. Inhale your intention. Visualize it taking place. Inhale your intention. God's will for you is perfect happiness and to have your intention made manifest. That's God's will for you. So use that power of the divine will to manifest your intention. Ask and it is given. Inhale your intention. Exhale doubt. Inhale certainty. Certainty that you can manifest your intentions. Not just this one, but all of your good intentions in life. And let's ask the Divine Mother to help us manifest. Om Aim Hrim Klim Chamandai Vichi. 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 Let your negative thoughts go. Observe them. Breathe them out on the exhale. Let the mantra take them out. Let the mantra infuse your positive thoughts with energy. Let the mantra give you the power, the divine power you need. There's nothing your holiness cannot do. That's a lesson 38 in A Course in Miracles. There's nothing my holiness cannot do. And give that thought, this power of this mantra from the Divine Mother. Om Aim Hrim Klim Chamandai Vichi. 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 Anytime during your day you need to pick me up, just sit down or even lay down and take some breaths. Do this breath for 5-10 minutes just to reboot, reset yourself. Om Aim Hrim Klim Chamandai Vichi. 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 This is ode number 107. I cannot rise up alone. On this resurrection day, I cannot rise up alone. The ones outside this gate to immortality must be brought through the portal to my heart. Now so obvious it seems. I cannot enter those fields of perfect peace alone. If you are sad, would I be sad as well? All of my joy belongs to you. As we inherit God's gifts together, none receive without the sharing. What small tinge of separation could keep our hearts apart when universes are joined with a blink of an eye, and starlight travels light years to dance in this inner drama of illumination? I am the catcher of these rays that envelop our life with the sure protection of crystal clarity. All of our darkened corners of doubt are shined away as certainty enters our minds to receive an absolute love that never ends. No needs are left unfulfilled. O Divine Mother of complete compassion, enter my heart in full awareness that I may extend your love in all my thoughts, words, deeds, and actions. Let my gratitude grow to infinite proportions for the true knowledge of your grace and mercy. All my errors are absolved in your presence of forgiveness, and all my karma erased by the transmutation of holiness you impart. Bring me into the circle of perfection with all my brothers and sisters. Leave none outside the blessings of your benediction. I rise up in the light of unconditional love by your call. Open my ears to heed this call and act in ways that extend your love everywhere. I cannot rise up alone. On this day of resurrection, I cannot rise up alone. This ode is called A Sunny Day of Your Love. A sunny day of your love is upon me. I take a walk and take a deep breath of summer air and notice the few puffs of white slowly sauntering across an azure firmament. It is a bright contrast to the last few days of dreariness. A dense cloud of gray hung over me, and I was in the doldrums of despair. Yet, could a changing mood ever obscure your absolute care for me? You patiently wait without a judgment or a doubt about my everlasting happiness. How can I fall into these pits of melancholy, even knowing that they are not your will for me? As though some deep impurity in myself takes over as it comes to the surface of my present moments. At least it is no longer hidden, no longer denied in the obscure subconscious of my soul. Divine Mother of all the depressed times, leave me not in these hours of need. Judge me not for these reticent reflections into my past that cause me sorrow. Lift my soul ever into the sunny day of the now. I am not bound to hold on to the storms of bygone days. to the shattered dreams of unfulfilled expectations and desires. This day is the one I would walk into the light, into your immensity of unlimited possibilities. You are my muse and my inspiration. You are the one force that propels my every breath, allows my heart to beat in rhythm continuously into the future. I place myself in the universe of your unending love. Let those days of dreariness depart from me as I come forth to create something beautiful in this sunny day of your love, in the name of my Lord. A sunny day of your love is upon me. We'll do another round. This will be the last round. Om Aim Hrim Klim Chamandaya Vici. 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 Keep breathing. Keep the rhythm going. Breathe in love. Exhale fear. Breathe in life. Exhale death. Breathe in certainty. Exhale doubt. Om Aim Hrim Klim Chamandaya Vici. Om Aim Hrim Klim Chamandaya Vici. Om Aim Hrim Klim Chamandaya Vici. Okay, we'll end on one last ode. This is ode number 108. You are the one. You are the one. You are the one I cannot leave behind in my ascent to the crest of self-identity. We are joined to rise above the problems of the world and live our life in perfect happiness, unaffected by the shifts and turns of time. We give each other the boon of full release by clinging not to grievances. Let yesterday's mistakes be cleansed in the present moment of complete forgiveness. Let us look on the errors and ask your highest will to help in their corrections. Let our iniquities be dissolved in the potion of compassion that only you extend. Divine Mother of a holy atonement, make consequences of sin and all its encumbering concepts be swept away forever by the action of your unconditional love. With the clean slate of a still and silent mind, let our relationship with you be newly written according to your will upon the tablet of our life as we await your certain directions. Resting in the palm of your universal hand, we become the offering of our highest destiny, the holy action of our function here on earth in your plan to restore heaven everywhere. Let us accept our part in this divine dance already set in motion eons ago. May our movements be most graceful and free of all discord, without the slightest jerk of doubt. You impart the courage that we need to fulfill our parts in this cosmic choreography. You reveal our steps in their highest beauty and poise. Together we dance and ascend on the stage of holiness toward your final acclaim. You are the one. You are the one. You guys are the one. You're the one. Loved by the Divine Mother so much in your breathing. We hope she came into you. We hope Babaji visited you in this hour of mantra breathing. We're so glad to have you in our life. And next week we'll be back in Washington. We get back on Friday. So
the unconscious death urge.
Next week's theme, you'll all be interested, is overcoming the unconscious death urge. This is coming up for a lot of people this week after the election. And we thought, well, we're going to give people a little more clarity about how they can overcome this negative pattern we call the unconscious death urge. So some of you requested that, and that's what we're going to discuss next week. So we'll send you all some pictures of Venice. We'll put them in the Mantra Breathing WhatsApp. You can look at them there. And yeah, it's been delightful being with you. I hope everybody, the broadcast came through okay on the iPhone. I could see everybody clearly here. And so we'll see you next week. And God bless you all. Write to us during the week and we'll answer. We guarantee it. Even here in Venice. Yeah. All right. God bless. Have a good evening.